Hey, how's it going guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we are finally checking out a mini PC that has a dedicated graphics card.
This is a, well, mini PC from Aliexpress that features a 1650 and an i5-9400F. Very weird specs, but it has full desktop components in it. Can it game? It should, but we'll see right after a word from today's sponsor.
Today's video is brought to you by ASRock and their new B550 Phantom Gaming Riptide motherboard featuring support for Ryzen 3000, 4000, and 5000 series CPUs, a clean all-black design, PCI 4.0 high-speed M.2 support with an included heatsink, a graphics card holder to prevent GPU sag, and even a killer 2.5 gig LAN port for super fast networking. The B550 Phantom Gaming Riptide should be on your shortlist for your next AMD Ryzen gaming PC. Check the link down below to learn more, and special thanks again to ASRock for sponsoring today's video.
So this is another AliExpress special where you're probably only going to be able to find it on AliExpress. I know if you go to other websites that are here in the US, it's really hard to find one of these with a dedicated GPU, so it'll be fun to unbox this thing.
Most of the time the enclosures are just like something that they buy off the shelf in bulk and they throw in whatever board that they have. So I'm kind of interested to see how they put this one together, and yeah, let's just not waste any more time and open up this beautiful orange tape.
It's time to open up the specialty waterproof packaging. I really think that's why they do this.
Probably. It falls off a boat, you know, it can just float around for a little bit. McAllister, can you put this thing in an ocean and have it bob up and down?
Is that like a video we should do, like testing Chinese tape?
We could. Yeah, there you go. But the main reason we picked up this mini PC is, one, we like to buy random things off AliExpress because it makes for interesting content, and two, having actual like dedicated desktop like components in it, like a graphics card, CPU, and stuff like that, is kind of unique for a mini PC. There are some sellers that actually sell similar PCs in the US, but for the most part, they're either really, really expensive. They're from like the brands like HP and stuff. But yeah, are you able to get this out?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to get it out. It's like a laptop box inside of a box.
Okay, mini computer, independent graphics card.
That's a weird way to say like discreet or whatever, but
it's independent. China
compulsory certification. Does anybody know what these certifications mean?
Couldn't
I mean,
tell
CE,
you.
I know that's a good one to have. So are they real, or did they just buy the stamp? I don't know.
Anyone can buy a stamp.
Anyone can buy a stamp. Packaging looks actually really good. So we got a layer on top, and then we have these conveniently
little squares.
Foursquare. Yeah.
Foursquare.
This thing's actually like big. It's like an Xbox.
Oh, this is like an Xbox.
Yeah, it's skinny though. It's skinny, I'll give it that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just pull the computer out first, and then we'll pull out like the other stuff that comes with it. But looks like we have like a nice sleek silver, and yeah, it's like brushed aluminum.
Brushed aluminum, nice. Look
this
at
is
that.
actually like really crazy looking because it just looks like it was just like freshly like milled pretty much. Oh wait for it.
Got a peel? Hit it with the peel.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of loving the finish on this.
It looks pretty cool.
It looks super industrial. Like I could throw this thing off a cliff and it's gonna survive, you know? All right, I'm gonna go and put this in our trash pile. That's gonna slowly start collecting this week.
Yep.
Now what do we get in the box? And then we'll talk about the computer. We get pretty decent size power brick. It's a Hunt key. Hunt key power brick. It does come with US adapters, which I'm sure we had to specify. Very, very custom barrel plug. So you're not gonna like just grab one of these off the shelf to replace it if you break yours. We have some stands so that your computer can stand straight up. It comes with 2 Wi-Fi antennas. We got some upgrade parts in here. It looks like it came with an HDMI as well, which is always really nice for the manufacturer to include, but it does look like it has a extra SATA power and SATA data adapter, which are just standard. The power though, does use like this weird proprietary connector, so you could probably just add one drive, but we'll find that out in a minute. Now to talk about the outside of this system, on the front, we have power switch. We have what looks like 3 USB 3s. USB 2s, because I don't see any blue and I don't see SS, so I'm gonna assume they're 2. We have some pretty big ventilation on the bottom. Looks like we have a giant fan here and 2 MSI fans. Is this the graphics card maybe?
I think it is. I think it's legit like MSI low profile.
Sorry, not a laptop drive, a low profile drive. Yeah. It looks like we have speak mic. So we got speakers and mic. We have 4 USB 3s. We have an Ethernet jack. Here's our barrel jack for the DC power. We have 2 Wi-Fi antennas. That's really awesome that you actually use antennas because this thing will travel far. 3 display outs. So we have a DisplayPort, a HDMI, and a DVI. So yeah, I really want to open this thing up.
How's it open?
How does it open? 4 screws.
That's
It
simple
opens with
enough.
4 Phillips screws. So
And while Jackson's doing that, say hi to Twitch, guys. Follow our Twitch. We're streaming this live right now. If you ever want to see videos before they go live, well, you can do that. Twitch chat, say hi real quick. You're on stream.
wave, guys.
Hurry. Hello, hi, ban. Whoa. Don't be doing that now.
Did you say band?
Ban cyber. No, don't say that. That's mean. All right, we're going back to Jackson.
Yeah, this is wow.
See, yeah, there you go.
Look at that. They actually have like a custom-made board that has the PCI riser sideways. So, in theory, you could almost upgrade the GPU, but it has to be like a low-profile 1650, and also your brackets would have to be the exact same, because as you can see, they literally just took the bracket off of this card that holds it in the PCI lane and just screwed it straight into the aluminum housing. So this is pretty custom, but at the same time, it's upgradable. We have a single stick of 8 gigs, tisk, but you can add another, it looks like right below it. We have a 512 gig M.2, and I assume it's NVMe, but it doesn't really say on the serial number. It's an SCY, so that is a name brand. And we actually have a pretty big cooler, like better than Intel's stock cooler.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Inside of this, they actually have like a security tamper screw that they've already pierced on this one. So that's, I guess our warranty's voided. We have some standard connectors in here though. Like look at that, we have a standard USB. We have HD audio. We have a standard fan connector, so you could replace this fan if it ever went out or anything. You actually have this. It's PCI power for like if you wanted to. So this must be a board that's a little bit like, it must be used in many things. Standard front panel connectors. So it seems like there's actually a lot of like standard stuff in this board. The biggest thing that sets it apart is the fact that you have this sideways PCI lane where they basically just like soldered it on sideways. And lastly, if you do want to add an SSD, it looks like it cannot take any more NVMe drives, but you can put a 2.5-inch laptop hard drive or a 2.5-inch SSD. There's just 4 screw holes here. It mounts like this, and then when you put it back in, it sits right over that extra SATA port. And then it looks like the power connector for that SATA port is right here. So there you go, you just gotta, or no, right here, sorry, hard drive power 1. I guess that's just something totally different.
And that's what they included in the...
Yeah, that's what they include in the bag. So you basically just plug that in, screw it in, boom, and then 4 screws. I like the 4 screw method. This is pretty nice because how many screws do you usually take to get into a PC case? 4. Usually you have 2 side panel screws on each side. So this is pretty nice how easy they made it.
So now what we're gonna do is load some games up on this mini PC, see how it performs, and decide whether or not you should pick this thing up from Aliexpress. So yeah, I know we're gonna do some gaming here, but what we decided to do, we were just on stream, we were like, you know what, this thing needs some RGB, and oh my God, like it looks great. We just added an RGB strip. What'd you end up doing with this?
I literally just a short 1.5 foot RGB strip, used the SATA power cable that's included and plugged it in.
So yeah, limited the upgradability of adding a 2.5-inch drive, but I mean, RGB, it's definitely worth it. And the way these cutouts are here and the fact that, well, as you can see right here, I mean, look at that. That just, it looks freaking ridiculous.
You can put it up on the stand that it comes with and have all that shine.
You know what, you have some B-roll shots of that right now, but yeah, no, super cool. Now it's actually game on it because we just added like 5 FPS by doing this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have this mini PC all booted up and ready to go, let's talk about a couple benchmarks real quick. Now, we decided to test this PC in a couple of titles, those being Fortnite, Overwatch, CSGO, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. First up in Fortnite, we decided to test this game at Pro settings instead of using Performance mode, which is basically epic view distance, everything else on low, because Performance mode has been having some issues where I've been noticing a lot of stutter even on high-end PCs, so for the most part, I'm just going to switch off of it just to kind of see what kind of numbers we can get. And as you can tell, this PC is perfectly fine for Fortnite. It's an esports focused graphics card, and paired with an i5-9400F, you have no problems whatsoever getting really good results at 1080p. I see this as a really good budget option for those not wanting to pay scalper prices for a 1650 or a 1050 Ti, and also wants a low profile compact PC. And for the most part, it does a really good job at both, and the temperatures are actually rock solid. That was one thing I was concerned about with a mini computer,
computer, but it actually did perform very well with that stock cooler, well, kind of aftermarket stock cooler on that 9400F and the just normal cutouts that are on this custom-made case. Next up, in Overwatch at 1080p on high settings, we got once again well over 144 FPS. And with that 1650, you could do some light streaming with the NVENC encoder, so do keep that in mind. This could be a cool little mini streaming PC box if you're someone who likes to travel and also want to live stream while you go. So that's a good option for this little mini computer. And the same goes again in CSGO, another esports title. High settings, no problem whatsoever, getting over 160 FPS. I'm actually just really impressed that this seller was actually able to sell this PC at a reasonable price. Now, of course, with all the Aliexpress videos we do, we release the PC video and then sometimes it goes up in price. And I have a good feeling this one might go up a little bit, $700 to $800. So do keep that in mind. We paid around $700, but I could easily see this thing going up to around $800 if you do try to purchase it at the time of making this video. But even then at $800, it still might be worth it just for the small form factor alone. As a normal computer, not really. A 9400F in 1650 probably off the shelf would cost you about $600 to $700 right now, so it is kind of a markup. But if you really want the small form factor, this is really your only option. And last, to really push this system to its limits, we tested Shadow the Tomb Raider on low settings, and to my surprise, this combo actually got over 60 FPS in Shadow the Tomb Raider using the built-in benchmark, averaging 73 FPS. So you can play some AAA titles at lower settings at 1080p, or drop down to like 1600 by 900 to get a 60 FPS experience, making this mini PC an overall pretty decent value. You never really know what you're going to get when you buy computers or anything in general off AliExpress, but recently we've been very surprised at some of the little mini computers we purchased. They deliver pretty good value for money and they're very cool to look at, especially with that added RGB that we put in there. Don't necessarily need to do that yourself, but I think it does look pretty cool, and I don't want to hear it looks tacky because I know some people in our office thinks it looks tacky, but I think it looks absolutely beautiful. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this mini PC for the money. Very happy we had a chance to take a look at it. How we're going to bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.
Alright guys, so we just got done benchmarking this PC. Our RGB is still working, the PC is still working great, and it honestly stayed extremely cool. They did a really good job with these CNC cutouts, and in gaming, this thing really was not a slouch for the price that we paid for it.
It has a desktop 1650 and an i5 9400F. The 9400F isn't the greatest processor in the world, it is just a 6-core processor, but it can still play all your esports titles and some newer games with that 1650. So for the most part, it's a working mini PC. This thing is definitely bigger than the mini PCs that we review here on the channel, but it is still very compact and you could travel with it if you really wanted to, and really it's just a cool piece of tech we were able to pick up off Aliexpress. So if you want to buy this mini PC, it may or may not be in the description down below because these sellers tend to come on and off of Aliexpress a lot, but you'll find very similar like off-the-shelf offerings like this from other sellers potentially by using the link down below. So be sure to do that, and yeah, it helps us out because it's probably an affiliate link.
So we really do appreciate you guys checking out today's video. If you haven't already, don't forget to check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
And hey, aside from those 2 other YouTube channels, we also have all kinds of social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Discord, and we are verified on pretty much all of them.
Join all of them, follow all of them. Whatever you do for either of those platforms, do it because you're gonna love what you see, especially on TikTok. See you guys later, goodbye.